Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, but
It has a V8 in it.
Really?
Flathead. Yeah. It runs, but the speed is terrible.
Have you driven it much?
Oh yeah. But they're starting to close a lot of the tracks now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a Ford Flathead out of a 1940 Ford block.
That's cool.
And then they put Offenhauser and racing equipment on it, and twin carbs and a custom. That alone was $1,000.
They're like radiator or?
Yeah. This is a handbrake. This is part of how we started the car.
Mm-hmm. I was watching a video about the Model T yesterday. How the brake pedal's on the right, then the reverse pedal's in the middle, and then it's like a clutch, like a motorcycle clutch on the left side. But in order to engage it in gear, you're also with the parking brake because it's a gear system kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to pump up pressure. That's got a 7-gallon fuel tank that's stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to pump up the pressure unless it's full.
Mm-hmm.
So you pump up the fuel pressure with this
Hand pump?
hand pump, and then it's got a switch. You have to turn that on. You have to put it in gear. It's only got 2 gears.
Yeah, same with the Model Ts.
In and out. And you have to do all that. And then you hold this, and then open the fuel line.
Yeah, yep.
Because that closes.
That
And then you pull this back and you got somebody pushing.
And then that's, you push start them?
And they get up to about 5 to 7 miles an hour. These rear tires are locked up.
Yep.
And then you release the brake and it turns, the tires will turn over and they'll kick the drive to turn it over.
Oh.
And then you hope it fires.
That's interesting. It's like almost like a old plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the cockpit is so tight in these things. But yeah, the in and out gears right here. At least now, they didn't have these in the old days.
No.
The 5-point belts.
Did they have this on there in the old days?
No.
No.
They didn't have this. But other than that, it's pretty much all original.
That's sweet. That's
Yeah.
good condition too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this has been kind of everybody's favorite when I go to shows and stuff like that.
Is there a reason you have one tire race and
Yeah.
one tire rain?
Yeah. Well, that when you're in corners, these are oval tracks.
Mm.
But when you're in corners, all your weight shifted to the right front and the right rear.
Right.
And this tire is just lightweight and it grabs better than a slick.
Right. If you were all slicks, then they'd
And
have
then
to
when
be
you do
warm.
dirt, the dirt tires, you can see some of them, like the second one down.
big one.
Oh, a big
Yeah,
one.
Those go on the rear,
Rear,
and
yeah.
they're cut for dirt
Yeah.
because it's the weight is all thrown to the right. In fact, you see a lot of the early midget drivers, that wheel is up in the air when they're in corners, and the back end is slid back around.
Because
And,
you're always going left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It burns alcohol.
Yeah.
Huh?
You run 110 octane?
I don't know what the octane on this is, but this is just pure, straight alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah, here's in the old days. You can see the guy lifting that inside front wheel there.
Yeah.
Those guys were crazy. So many of them got killed in these things in sprint cars. It was scary. But both drivers that drove this up in New England, both drove in the Indy 500. One of them was on the pole one year, and then eventually they kept driving on dirt with sprint cars, the big Chevy motors, and they both got killed. But the same owner that owned this car.
Wow.
Is there a pedal on the right? You have no pedal, you have one pedal?
That is my accelerator. You can see it. You put your toe through it,
Yeah, and it's pushed down.
and you just push down on it. That's the accelerator.
That's it. And what about the clutch? You don't have a clutch.
No, there's no clutch.
You don't need one.
Is there a brake? Well, this
Everything's
lever
by
was
the
your
arm,
brake,
yeah.
right?
That front brake the reservoirs off to the side, but the fronts don't work worth a damn. A lot of guys have gone to disc even on old cars now, and cages, which I hate. I hate that. I don't know why.
20 years?
No. I've had it like 6 years.
6 years. Did you have one before this?
I had a cart
Okay.
that had a motorcycle engine in it. It had a 125 cc Honda in it. It was fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
That sucker, I could do donuts just standing still. And it had 4-wheel disc brakes. It had, I mean, it
Pretty
was
modern.
It was crazy fast.
That's cool.
They're dangerous.
Yeah,
They're
you almost need a roll cage, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's that guy with the wheel up.
Yep, there's one up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To-
It's a 1948.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
And
car.
those guys are early hand-built cars.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that has what the equipment is on it, and it has who drove it in the early years down below.
Mm.
One guy was a one-legged driver. He
Really?
lost a leg.
Which leg? Left leg?
I don't remember.
Must have
He
been.
lost a leg racing,
Oh.
and then he was driving a sprint car, and he was always going to racetrack on a crutch.
Wow.
And then one track in Pennsylvania, he went up over a rail, hit somebody snapped an axle, went up over the rail and into a tree, and the windscreen.
Dude.
Glass or plexiglass
No,
like this?
Plexi.
There's a plexi one, so
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't have shattered.
Probably
that.
just like a knife blade, I guess.
His name was Bill Schindler. He was pretty famous.
Or you can look him up.
They called him Bronco Bill. And the other guy was a guy that was on a pole at Indy one year. Drove this, and then he was killed later.
Yeah, it's probably
In those
dangerous.
days, the famous guys, there used to be like 5 or 6 of them would get killed every year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
I used to go to the Speedway all the time because I lived near Indianapolis, and
I mean, that doesn't look too safe right there.
It's not. I was getting ready to go out up in Cheyenne, and they'd already started the engine on this, and the son of a bitch was pumping fuel all over the engine and out. They thought it was water.
Uh-oh. That's
And
not
they
good.
said, "Oh, it's okay. You'll be okay." Well, it was this damn alcohol
Yeah.
was coming out of the bottom of the carburetor. It's got 3 jets in it,
Yeah.
and one jet was loose, and it was pumping out that jet.
And they didn't. And they sent you out anyway.
Did it stop, or was it just
Well, no,
all your fuel ran
I
out?
thought, well, if that's water, this thing's gonna, because they run
Yeah,
hot
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
It's,
And how many horse again? I forget what you said.
there's not that many.
60?
Uh, I would get this top end horsepower on this is up to like 140. I think.
Miles an hour?
No,
Horsepower.
horsepower.
Okay.
But it's so light that.
So
That's
if you
not
took
bad.
this on a
900 pounds.
If you took
Yeah,
it on a
that's not that
straightaway, what's the top speed on a straightaway?
If-
On a regular road, you know?
Oh, they can get up to well over 100.
Okay.
Probably this one maybe 110, 120, but they've been known to run 140. But yeah, I need to pull the motor out, and we've got
Are you still into it, or are you giving up on it a little?
about given up because Cheyenne closed, which was a close paved track. I'm not going to run on dirt anymore.
That's what Erie was, isn't it?
Erie?
Is dirt or no?
No, that's it used to be, and
Oh,
then they
okay.
paved it.
Okay.
And
Oh, I
John,
see.
these holes were to check for depth on tire wear. These tires are quite old. These are back from probably the 60s.
Wow.
And these wheels, my God, they're expensive now.
Oh yeah.
This is got the what do they call them?
The center hub.
Cutouts in them.
Oh yeah.
And this wheel will sell for probably about $400 to $500 alone. These are rare. Right
That's-
here.
that's
This is what
because-
they used to run back when the car was built. They call them deep dish.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you say? Oh, I see. What you're saying.
And
Rims?
you got a knockoff here,
Yeah.
and then this is called a pressure plate, and this goes over 6 what they call pins. not studs, they're pins, and that goes on, and actually you tighten it, and that's what holds the wheel on.
Do you tighten it with a wrench or is it by hand?
Oh, I've got a thing that you put on there and
hit it really hard.
Sled, you gotta have. I lost the wheel one time, and then you don't want to do that.
Yeah, since it's.
And suspension, that's a front leaf spring,
Yep.
and this is a rocker rear.
That's interesting. Because there's like pins that go into the holes.
Yeah.
And then you gotta put this thing on and hit it to knock it
Oh
out.
yeah, you use a hammer. I've got a rubber, but I also I've got this big rod that's
So
about
like
that big.
6 years now. You're 84. You're 78 years old and you're buying this.
Yeah,
Just checking.
it's something I always wanted to do,
Well, yeah, of course.
and I was glad I did
Yeah.
because I really haven't had any.
Any fun sense?
Here's what you use to tighten them.
Oh wow.
And this is solid brass, and this goes over those
Over the prong.
prongs on the
Yeah.
knockoff, and then I use
Oh, I see.
I use
like this?
this hammer,
Like this, right?
yeah, to tighten them with.
Okay. And you're using brass.
Huh?
This is brass, right?
Yeah, it's solid
Brass,
brass.
brass on brass.
Well,
'Cause-
yeah, not all. Some of them are these are magnesium. The wheels.
Oh, right. But the lock nut is. Oh, I see. That's
And then you really got to tighten those good.
But you only got how many gallons of fuel?
This'll, they say 7, it looks bigger than that, but the tank is all stainless, which you can't even buy a car now. This is all aluminum. And now they're fiberglass, even parts of them are fiberglass.
Well, 1948, most of it, right?
And this was hand rolled. One guy, we were in Kansas at a racetrack, and one guy was showing another guy, and I was working on the back end. He says, this is fiberglass, telling another guy, because they can't do that with aluminum. And I said, no, sir, that's all fiberglass hand rolled. I mean, it's all aluminum hand rolled.
You can feel it right here. The edges are rolled over right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. That's back when craftsmanship.
Oh, yeah, the guy that made this is pretty famous.
Oh, yeah.
His cars right now, he's the second famous builder, and he copied Frank Curtis in Los Angeles. Those used to be known as Curtis Craft.
Yeah.
And those were Indy cars and sprint cars. This guy worked for Mack Truck in Pennsylvania, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and he loved racing, so he started building his own cars, and this is one of them.
Did he?
It's a Hillegas.
Cool.
How did he build this? He formed all this
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
with forms and hammers and.
yeah. They rolled all this themselves.
That's art craft.
Yeah.
That's not.
And I love the tail end of these cars. You look at you're back there where John is, and you look at those fuel exhausts going down the road. People with the car that size can't figure that this has got to be a V8 in this thing.
But it's a little. What is it? A little 4? No, it is a V8.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a V8 60.
Yeah.
I told John it's out of a 1940 Ford car, a flathead.
Oh wow.
You haven't seen, lift the
I
hood.
think I did see it last time.
You may not realize that
sit
it
down?
is a V8.
Yeah, he showed me. You just lift this.
Yeah, go ahead, it's tight.
Yeah. I'll hold it.
But look
It's
at
got
that
the wire.
aluminum that they rolled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely see there.
That's craftsmanship.
And we're gonna drop the motor. I got a guy down the street here who's
1940.
fairly good. He's got a 7-car garage,
Oh, wow.
and we have to drop the crankset out of it.
Yeah, that's probably most of the fun is taking them apart.
Well, he wants to do it. I got another guy, and
You need to do something with it.
well, the guy that restored this built this, and he was racing this motor, and he put nitro in, and it blew 2 pistons. Yeah, we'd have to take stuff off of that to put on this, and I wanted to show you. Now the guys are running Chevy 2 motors.
Oh,
Old Chevy 2s, that's one of them
what
right
year is
there.
that?
Probably from the early 70s. I'm gonna
That's
try to
interesting.
sell that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.